the city department heads encourage any person with questions to contact them at their offices.
Okay. At this time, I invite any members of the public to approach the podium. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll have 5 minutes.
I believe most of you, if not all, already know me. I am Luke Wenke of 322 North 13th Street, and I was the Cattaraugus County Libertarian Chairman before COVID. Hopefully this 4-page thing stays within 5 minutes. It has been 6 years since I stood before this city council with something to say, and the issue back then was a simple request that the stoplight in front of Tops on West State Street flash yellow late at night, like all the others on that street do at night. I am sure my now former co-workers at Domino's would appreciate that request finally be fulfilled, but all this time later. But tonight I come to you with much more serious issues to present to you in the public, and I am not going to ask, I'm going to demand a sympathetic government, and I will finish my statements here word for word, no matter how long it takes to finish. I believe you are all well aware I was at the Minneapolis George Floyd protest of 2020. I did not go out there due to serious anger at government. I went out there due to personal concern for someone from the North Carolina Libertarian Party named Benjamin Teeter. Without digressing off into too many details so I don't lose track of the points I intend to make to this council tonight, I was unaware and aloof of who did what out there. I suppose when people of Polish descent show up at revolutionary activities, we fail to immediately realize we are hanging out with the immediate arsonists. It is forgivable because Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd, and it was a precursor to the Capitol riot, and that was nothing more than average Americans going French against a Congress with a years-long single-digit approval rating, far too wealthy for average people to run against in a normal democracy. I don't want this behavior normalized, but it still happened for a reason. Teeter's unusually Orwellian entrapment arrest was not originally explained to me, and after a year of not being allowed to talk to him, but only his relatives, I felt inclined to just walk away. My house in Olean was broken into at the end of 2021 by my now former eviction ban abusing neighbor Amber Chapman, and the Olean police failed to do anything about it due to lack of fingerprints. During COVID Omicron, while people continued to fight COVID-era combat with one another, I taunted his attorney over email, and away I went over a year. It took me over a month to find a new job after returning to my home, and I naturally felt upset about how things had gone. The federal courts recently decided to twist the definition of indirect contact after I scolded a completely different Minnesota stranger for allowing things to go this way on my end. My daily affairs continue to be interrupted over a 3-year-long overblown personal issue, and today I come to call out the recent bluffs, including the Olean police. Less than 2 weeks ago, after returning home from yet another captivity stint just so they could diagnose me with borderline personality traits in the end, a fake phone number immediately contacted me first, and I still have the evidence proving this. I returned home to my front door wide open, and I did not bother to call Olean police because of my prior experience in 2021 with them failing to find fingerprints anywhere. Yesterday, a mysterious character going by Officer Pavlok accused both my mother and I of contacting the fake number first. 2 Olean police officers digging through Chautauqua County Jail phone records to see if I had called a burner number that did not exist until a week or so ago when I got home. Pavlok accidentally confirmed who this was behind the fake number, and all I can say is I have the right to be emotional over the fact that the local girl who we let use my car last year turned around to get a job with the Minnesota attorney who never met me and did what he did to me and tried to pervert yet another indirect contact violation against me, and it failed. It takes tax documentation and a legitimate cell phone number to prove who she works for and I'm speaking to, but Pavlok accidentally confirmed who the fake number was, and we did not know. He accused both my mother and I of contacting it first. I continue to feel disrespected and unhelped by the Olean police as a local taxpayer and homeowner. How can I seriously expect to depend on the Olean police's help with anything if my house is broken into, when they continue to show no interest in serving the needs of homeowners, and when people like this Officer Pavlok character continues to straight up lie about who I am contacting? He is hereby obligated to brief all of you on this never-ending situation he lied about on the phone yesterday. To hear from another Olean resident that a Minnesota state trooper was seen on I-86 recently continues to make me feel cornered and worked against and lied about by strangers. I am plain and simply a disrespected tax-paying homeowner of Olean by a government which has done less for me than it has against me. Look how many people in Olean are trying to sell their houses. I know I am not alone. I don't think homeowners should feel bullied out by an unhelpful environment, so I will not quit on living in Olean. Officer Pavlak owes it to all of you to explain this recent situation in depth and the waste of resources on behalf of the city government they used trying to once again corner me over a fake burner number that did not exist until a week ago. At Brewers Martial Arts, we were not allowed to use combat sparring, and AKT combatives can attest to the fact that I was not good at contact sparring, so I am not really a threat to anybody at all. When you never got arrested until age 29 and by strangers you never met, and you return home to a house full of cobwebs, your emotions will naturally go haywire. An overblown, never-ending, legally damning personal situation over someone I knew for 2 weeks face-to-face 3 years ago will naturally make you publicly call out other people's personal issues. It will make you remember when Natalie Hockhausen wanted local economic development money to fund urban biosphere, urban farming, but after being put through tons of classes and workshops, the city government then embezzled the funds to itself instead. I did not know the word embezzlement until this recent federal intrusion into my overblown personal affairs. Trying to make good with local relatives after getting emotional over their division of another couple in the family by use of a positive letter in St. Jude's statue results in Olean police continuing to treat me like a local violent threat. They have been unhelpful on multiple occasions when my own home was broken into during COVID, and my extreme legal damnation makes me feel humiliated and unsafe. You are hereby challenged to speak to Officer Pavlak about this recent waste of local resources trying to incriminate me and others on lies. If he lies to any of you or leaves out any details, that is a false statement in court and that is a Class A misdemeanor. Government has worked against me harder than it has helped me. Some people felt entitled to unemployment checks and eviction bans, not me. I felt as though those things were owed to families with kids first and foremost. I never seek handouts, but as a disrespected tax-paying homeowner who has been hurt by government more than help, I know what I am entitled to, and I won't give up until I see results. I am entitled to a completely cleared record since New York State cleared records in 2022. Joe Biden and Kathy Hochul forgot about me. While Kathy Hochul was out there explaining her unusual amount of knowledge concerning white replacement theory while the top supermarket shooter was a thing, I am entitled to an Olean police force that prioritizes homeowners over the countless eviction ban abusers over Olean, and I am recounting my days of listening to Kathy Patch talk about junkies. And I am entitled to an Officer Pavlak that does not lie to any of you about the more recent Olean police bluff. That is everything I am entitled to, and I will not give up until I see results from a government that has damaged me in recent years more than helped. That's it.
Anyone else? Anyone else?